Here we go yet again, to the shock and dismay of many people. The Ozzy and Keats podcast continues. John Keating here at the Oddside Ales Tap Room in downtown Grand Haven. Chris Osgood at his palace in suburban Detroit. And we are brought to you through Podcast Nation in Troy, Michigan. And we're going to be joined by Ozzy's former teammate, Tomas Holmstrom, who is actually back in the States for this conversation, will join us in a few moments. What was it like having as many Swedish teammates as you did? Because they came in with a culture vastly different from you Canadians or the few Americans that might have been on your team.
I always felt like Swedish people were as close to Canadians I had encountered. Finnish pretty close too. So I always got along with all the Swedes. I mean, they're easygoing, very respectful.
What are you saying about Americans then?
We never had really a lot of Americans on our team then.
You don't like Americans? Go ahead. You can say you don't like Americans.
I am American. I'm
sort
dual.
of. Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we had Doug Brown then. I mean, comparable till now, there's a lot fewer American players back then than there is now. It's a testament to what they've done from the grassroots of hockey here. But not a lot. But the Swedes were like all the same. I mean, they like to hang out together. They did their thing. They all dressed great. Homer was, yeah. Homer was different because I believe, was from way up north in Sweden, like in the middle of nowhere. A lot of them were right around Stockholm, I believe. But Homer was quite a ways away. I remember we went to Sweden to play, I believe, St. Louis twice. It was a big deal to be over there for our team, and the Red Wings are real popular there because of that. So obviously, when you have Zetterberg and the likes of Lindstrom on your team, that's a pretty simple equation, thinking that they like the Red Wings. So it was real cool to see those guys over there and how much people admired them.
All right. The season is underway,
Yep.
and people are enjoying Chris Osgood on television again. How much do you get stopped by people these days because they see you now as a TV guy as opposed to a goalie playing hockey guy?
Yeah, they'll ask me, season's starting up, how do you think they're going to do? I get that lots when I'm out, for sure. Not a lot about the players, but how's the team? Are we going to make it this year? That's the number one question, to be honest. And so I go into a full dissertation of how I hope they're going to be there, and how I wish that you and I were doing a playoff game downtown. Obviously, that's not going to happen now, but I do think, they didn't miss by a lot last year. They had a lot of wins.
But aren't they asking you about your skincare regimen? I mean, because it's still baby smooth after all these years, and in light of some tough living, through all the seasons.
You mean a few years,
no wrinkles.
a few years impersonating.
Look how good you look.
I know,
look how good you look.
Few years impersonating Nicolas Cage from Leaving Las Vegas didn't help the inside of the organs or the outside of the skin. But since then, I've been making a pretty good comeback and, taking care of myself and doing the right things. I do use lotion, and when I shower, some coconut oil on the face never hurts. So especially that. So we'll see. I got to try and look half decent when I'm on TV. I mean, things are going downhill. I'm turning 53 in November. I can't believe it already. Time just flies, and so you got to enjoy every minute. So even without having me there, I'm gonna have as much fun as I possibly can.
You'll be fun. Yeah, you'll be fine.
It'll be good.
But not turning 53 is the alternative, and you don't want to think about that, right?
No, I don't want to think about that. So I've been real fortunate to make it this far. Hopefully, there's many years to come. But God, I sure hope. We always talk about it too, away from the cameras. Even sometimes you mentioned about how we wish the Wings could make the playoffs and there'd be a playoff game down there. So hopefully this is the year.
I have a list of questions that I was going to throw at you, and as the heavens are sort of reminding us, it's not up to us how things come together. But as you're talking about perhaps not being around, this was one of the questions that I had for you. What would you leave me in your last will and testament right now if you were to die? How perfect is that we're talking about that, and then that leads to that question. What are you going to leave me from the Osgood estate
exactly. I know what I leave you. I would leave you my helmet that I wore in 2008 that I still have in my closet. And the reason being, and my request, it would be that you have it on your mantle. So above where you have those little drinks of yours on the deck, wherever that is, so you can look at my face and it reminds me of you every day.
And as I'm considerably older than you, so as I'm walking to the deck, probably wearing the hockey helmet is not necessarily a bad idea because if I fall, or let's say when I fall, my head would be protected.
I would leave that helmet 100% uh, for you. And if you did have it on, one of two things would be happening. One, you have obviously lost it a bit, and two, you'd be on your way. Those two things would definitely be in conclusion.
I I have a 2.5-year-old granddaughter, and so she likes to ride her bike that doesn't yet have pedals on it, and so I ride my big Trek bike that alongside, and but she keeps yelling just like, We got to get you a helmet for Christmas. We got to get you a helmet for Christmas," because
Oh, I
I
love
haven't
this. Oh,
I don't wear a helmet when I go biking here in Grand Haven to her great shock and dismay. So anyway, and continuing the theme,
yeah.
what music would you like to be played at your funeral? That's another one of the questions that I have for you. What music would you like to be played at your funeral?
What music would I like to be played?
Something from the 80s, right? Do you want something sad and sappy or something upbeat and let's go?
Let's go. What's that? What would I like? It'd have to be something that you have to remember me by, like that you couldn't forget me by.
Something from your yacht rock
Yeah,
collection?
yeah. No, we'd have to go with
Toto? Maybe Toto. Maybe Aha. Take on Me?
Take on Me. No,
Rick Astley, something from the Rick Astley collection.
we could go there. Where we could go Canadian too. I'd go for sure. It would be a medley of '80s music, 100%, followed by at the end, "Pour Some Sugar on Me" by Def Leppard would be.
Of course. As the coffin with your jersey atop it is being wheeled, this is a horrible conversation.
Easy.
But as your coffin is being wheeled out of the church with your jersey on top of it, pour a little sugar on me is going to be played in the church as
Yeah,
as we take you to your
as a,
final resting place.
yeah, that'd be perfect.
Oh, that would be spectacular. What's the biggest lie you've ever told?
And we talked about it earlier. Like my wife would call me easy lies, just unnecessary lies, like for no reason. Like, oh, have you seen that movie? No, I haven't seen it. Well, I've seen it on the road when I was what, but I have to act like I didn't. Then I'd always screw it up, and she'd get you get caught in an unnecessary lie, or the
But
lie that
why not tell the truth? Why do you make stuff up?
I
Because it
always
happens to
tell.
me too. And your wife and I have shared texts about you. She refers to you as fibbalicious. Has she
Yeah,
used that word with
and
you?
it's just ridiculous.
Fibbalicious,
stuff.
that you
Like,
tell fibs all the time.
for instance, I'll tell my friends if we're going golfing and the tee time's at 1, I'll tell them 12:30 so they're there on time, or 12:15 and then they're too early and they're mad at me, or I'll tell Jenna the time's at 12:30 so I can leave earlier than the original tee time was. That she'll find out that the tee time wasn't exactly then because, you know, unbeknownst to me, that everybody else knows that it's actually at 1, and she'll talk to the girlfriends or wives of the other players I'm playing with, and she'll find out, oh, how was your 1 o'clock tee time? Like, just ridiculous stuff. Or
But
like, what are you doing? Like, when I'm on the road, if I'm by the pool, are you by the pool? No. Well, I'm by the pool. Just say I'm by the pool, but I don't want her to think,
why? I mean,
because I don't want
that's
her to think like I'm relaxing. I'm having this great time when she's at home with all the kids. But it's just ridiculous stuff like that. Then afterwards, you're like walking back to your room, like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done. It's just ridiculous. You're giving yourself that self lecture of just like, get your head out of your ass and just would you stop doing it? Like, life would be so much easier.
I will share with people when Ozzy and I are trading texts, which happens all the time. The one text that's repeated over and over again is why with a bunch of question marks. Why does somebody do why put yourself in that position? Why do it like that? I
Yeah.
mean, and if you ask yourself that question before you do something dumb or even something that's approaching dumb, it'll preclude you from doing that, and you'll make a better choice. So
Or like, you have to do something that you're supposed to do. Did you? Oh yeah, I did it. then now you're in a scramble to get it
Yeah.
done, and it's impossible, and you catch yourself. It's then you're in more trouble than you originally been if you, oh no, sorry, I just forgot to do that. So now you've created more of a mess for yourself. That in summary would also be on the sign as I'm getting hauled out to pour some sugar on me. You've created more of a mess than you ever should have.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. All right. We have a question that came in from one of our listeners and viewers. This is from Fahad Muhammad. Really enjoyed the podcast. Um, Ozzy, what was your mindset when you were left unprotected by Ken Holland, your mentor? Were there any hard feelings that led you to go
That's a good question.
to New York and leaving Detroit?
No, I mean,
You had to be
okay.
stunned, right?
No, because
They're bringing in Dominic Hasek, right?
and I've told you this before, and I look back on it, I should have stayed, right? But then you get ahead of yourself, and it's easy always to look back and second guess, and you get eager to play, and in the end, I was here for quite a while at that point. I probably needed a change. Kind of just like the new goalie for the Red Wings, Gibson, leaves Anaheim right at what age? I think I want to say 32 or 3, I think he is. So I was a little bit younger. I think I was 29, 30 at the time. So I was in Detroit for 10 years. I didn't really want to leave. Then it became more of like, oh my gosh. So the last place team, John, would get the first
Sure.
pick in the waiver
Yeah.
draft. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go to the Islanders. And they finished like with 50 some points last year. His team was in last place. I've never played for a bad team. I've never missed the playoffs. So it was a lot different. I had a little bit of a fear factor in there, which actually helped me really bear down and play better and learn a different way of being on and off the ice. And it ended up being one of my favorite years along. We had a really young team. Gar Snow and I were the two oldest players in the team. And we had a young team. We made the playoffs for the first time in, I think, 10 or 12 years there. And New York fans are great. The rink reminds me, the old Nassau Coliseum was a lot like Joe Louis. The
Yeah.
fans, it was raucous. We ended up playing a great series against Toronto. Should have won, lost in 7 games, but a real memorable year. Still in text threads with those guys, Steve Webb, Gar Snow, Mark Parrish, a lot of those guys. Because that team was a special team, a special group of kids. So I would never got to experience that. But at the time, Ken Holland, I've known him since I was young, so he ran me through everything that was going on and who I was going to go to. So he stayed in touch. Would I have loved to have stayed? Yeah, I said yeah, I would have, but or should have I? Probably, but in the end, I would never have had that experience, that great year or two in Long Island.
Well, that's what I tell everybody. And you wouldn't trade right now the experiences that you had going to New York and then going to St. Louis. Those were, I mean, there are friends and experiences that you had there that it's easier, I think, to stay put or stay in one place. But it's like go somewhere else, find out how different people do it. Make yourself, get put out there. It's good for the soul.
I was more disappointed because it was time for me to leave Detroit at that time. I felt like it was. I was more disappointed when I went to St. Louis than from New York because we had a good team.
Yeah.
We were up and coming. We had a lot of good young players. It was exciting to play in New York. The travel, because you know how much I love traveling now, was easy. I remember you take the bus, play the Rangers, you play Philadelphia, you play New Jersey. The only flight in your division is Pittsburgh, so I really like that aspect of it. Never got in the Western time zone until January or February every year. And we had a good team. We were up and coming. The fans had embraced us. They're very passionate there as well. So I was more disappointed to leave New York and go to St. Louis than I was the Red Wings to the Islanders.
Yeah, much like you realized that it was time for me to get away from you,
Same thing.
and that's and I don't have any regrets about that really at all. So
Everything that happened to you that day should be really science. Your last day at the LCA, your last day on the job. It's like that movie Final Destination where she sees death before it happens. Like it's the stage crashes, all this stuff was happening to you where you realize, oh my gosh, if I would have went to the next year, there's no way I would have made it through that season. So it all ended when it should have. And yeah, we'll miss you for the first little while here as the season starts.
you'll be fine. You'll
Right.
be fine. But all right, and one last thing, and then we'll bring Tomas Holmstrom in, who's patiently waiting for us to get through this. But we had a very nice gathering at a watering hole at the Ironwood Grill in Plymouth,
Oh,
Michigan, and where they took great care of us, and everybody signed a jersey for me, or I had everybody sign the jersey, and so it was cool. It's hanging in my office at home, and I, being a very careful sort, didn't want to drive because I thought I might have, the odd beer and wanted to be sure that,
yeah.
I got home okay. And so I had young Christopher John Osgood pick me up. Well, it turns out that Ozzy didn't make the end of the night. There was no ride home from Ozzy because
No.
Ozzy had to make his way home very, very
So
early.
excited of your
How much of this do you remember, first of all?
I remember I
Because
was so excited.
Ozzy enjoyed my retirement party more than I did or more than anyone else did.
I was excited about the impending retirement so much that I think I walked home from downtown, not downtown Detroit. I walked home at about 7. But the thing that you
Early.
forgot to mention is you more or less you pressed the eject button on me. You kicked me out of your retirement party.
Yeah.
Told me
You gotta go. You
you
gotta
got to go,
go.
you got to
Yeah.
go. And when you're told to go by the Grand Poobah, you go. And
All
it
right.
was a good call. I got a good. I was ready to go the next.
Oh my God. All right. Let's step aside. And the great Tomas Holmstrom joins us on Ozzy and Keats. And look who joins us. The friendly, smiling face of our old friend, Tomas Holmstrom, who happens to be back in Michigan as we record this. We couldn't be any more delighted about that or delighted to see you. Welcome back to Hockey Town. How does it feel?
It's always fun to be back, especially now when the season is around the corner to start. So, and I'm gonna go on the home opener on Thursday. So I'm excited and excited for the new year. And this year we got to get through playoffs this year.
All right. As we begin, and I've done this with all of your former teammates, tell me the story that you have that will greatly embarrass Chris Osgood. The story about being one of his teammates that will make him cringe on camera because he can't believe that somebody is telling the story about him.
I was good to Homer.
Yeah,
was
I
really
would
good
say
to Homer.
Ozzy we never. I would say Ozzy never listened to me either, though. So that we had a really good communication then, I guess. But I was sitting next to
Although he
Ozzy.
wasn't a bully,
Ozzy, I was
Yeah.
sitting next to
Go
you
ahead.
for all those years, and you never really talked to
Oh,
me.
yeah. That's because you sat with us. There's 4 goalie stalls, the old Joe. There was no other player that spent more time around the crease that wasn't a goalie. That's why. So he's almost an honorary member of the goalie union. But man, for years, yeah, what he was able to accomplish, the goal he scored for us was incredible. So, and I'm sure Thursday the people are going to be fired up, Homer, to have you back there. I mean, you're one of the most popular players to don the Red Wing jerseys. That's going to be really cool. Have you been to a game? Is this your first game in quite some time, isn't it?
No. I was a year and a half ago. I was back here. My son was playing in South Dakota, in Aberdeen Wings, North American Hockey League. So I was there a couple
Yeah.
of times. Yeah. But
Okay.
of course, when I'm here, usually the Wings are on the road. Yeah. But not this time.
Yeah. Well, the real, I guess, the real issue was going to be, as we were delighted to get you to be on the Ozzy and Keats podcast, was whether or not your English had become more Swedish over time, because Ozzy has explained to us that when you would come back from having been home to start a season back here in Detroit, it would be very, very hard to understand you, but you sound just fine here.
Sounds great.
No, I think you're getting used to me talking like this. So, but I don't know. It seems like it's every time I come back, I need a couple of days to get it to smoothen up my English a little bit, though. But it sounds the same, I guess. It doesn't get any better.
What keeps you busy in Sweden, Homer? Like, what are you up to there?
So yeah, back home, about a business back home. We're doing advertising. We put up advertising in different cities. We like 1/3 of northern Sweden. So that's what I've been doing, running though for and all the service and all that kind of stuff. And then we have builders also. So we build small houses, patios, and stuff like that. And then we have
Wow. Okay.
another leg to stand on to. He said, is stop digging. It's a screw. You don't have a concrete slab anymore. It's a metal iron screw. You put that into the ground, and you can put decks on it, patios, garages, small houses. So we do
Wow.
that also. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's go back to your hockey days in Detroit, because obviously you became a unicorn in that you were doing something that no one else did as well as you, and that was the ability to tip pucks in front of the goalie. How did that start for you? Because that wasn't the way that you came up playing hockey, right?
No, I was a little kid, and I thought I was a really good skater. But by the year going by, I don't know, something happened to my skating. But I mean, I've spent so much time on the ice, and still I couldn't be a better skater. I don't understand that. But I think I think it started with playing in my home team, and I got up in that the Division One league there, and then it's a good spot to be in. And then I moved over to another team who just underneath elite league, and then it was a scout there who's Niklas Wikegård. He was a scout for Washington Capitals, so I thought I was maybe going to end up there, but Detroit took me early in the 10th round, 9th round, 257 overall. So Washington didn't have a chance.
Yeah, Homer, tell the story when you were Scotty Bowman, because Homer and Scotty had a great relationship. They really did. Scotty loved him. How about your number 96? How you came to get your number?
Yeah, it was Dmitry Mironov was coming from Anaheim, and he had number 15 for say 10 years. So yeah, my 15 was just coming on the laundry bag at training camp. So yeah, but you can take he can take my number. So we went a week, and what number are you gonna have? So like all maybe my numbers they up in the roof, or you know taken. So I said to Scotty, I take 96 the year I broke into the league, and he goes, "No, take 98 the year you're gonna leave." So
Jeez.
and this is like November '97, so it was 98 was just knocking on the corner.
Well, obviously he was teasing, and obviously he had a great appreciation for what you were able to do. How much padding were you wearing that other hockey players were not wearing because of the role that you filled, standing in front of the goalie and
Yeah.
and basically encouraging teammates to shoot pucks right at you?
I actually the goalies doesn't know that, but I steal the pads from the goalies. Ozzy's pads and Vernie's pads.
What? What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was stealing pads from them, so I could protect myself.
Yeah, he's ribs in his back, right? Because back when Homer played, he can attest to this. I never did what he did. Guys were able to cross check you like 2 or 3 times, correct?
Yeah.
Before there might be a penalty call.
Yeah, but usually we use and then before I broke into the league in '96. There it was like you got 3 cross checkers in the corner in the neck. Then you get in front of that, you had 3 more, and then chaos started. So it was a little bit different now though. But I would do it again anytime. But it seems like people stand in front of net. They do it once in a while, but they don't do it night in and night out, shift in and shift out. But I think it was a
Like,
good
would you
spot
and Nick,
for me.
like Homer, just for people, like, did you and Nick Lindstrom talk about where he would place pucks for you to tip? Because, I mean, to me, you two were the best at it for so many years. And I used to watch from the far end and be able to see us. But would you two have conversations where to put pucks, where you wanted it? Because, I mean, it was a fine art that, to me, you were the best at it of all time in the National Hockey League. But was there conversation about where to shoot pucks against certain teams or certain games?
Yeah, because the people start scouting it, of course, and people start getting better to blocking shots from the point. So then, how are we going to solve this though? So we're like, Nick, just shoot the side of the net and shoot at my stick. And Nick, he find the stick a lot too, though. But even I needed maybe some eye hand coordination also. But you need to get the pucks through, and if I don't tip it, we get the puck down low, and then we can start all over again. So we worked lots of that, and yeah, that was my chance to, I got my playing time around the net, and so it's a good spot to be at. But be sure after pretty much after each practice, Nick was shooting pucks at me, and then I wear him out, and then I took another guy and another guy, and but I started from the top, and then it went lower, lower, lower. But the shot was getting worse and worse and worse too from those guys.
Who was the goalie that you absolutely pissed off? That the goalie that was made the angriest because of how Tomas Holmstrom was playing and standing in front of him?
I think Eddie Belfour, he was going nuts in Dallas there, and then Patrick Rowdy, he was not a big fan either. I really tried to get
what
into
kinds
the
of things are they saying? Homer, what kinds of things are they saying to you that you can share with us here on this podcast?
Yeah, but you know what? Death threats. But usually you lost.
Death threats.
But usually it was like the sticks between the legs and slashing behind the calves and stuff like that. Usually calves, everybody was targeting the calves or the bells between the legs.
Oh my gosh!
All the bells between the legs. How many bruises? Like how much does that hurt to get a slash on the feet, calves, back of your legs, all of that?
Yeah. I don't know. But that's why I had big pads there to protect myself. But of course, once in a while they miss it. So, but lots of ice bags. You know that, Ozzy.
Well, you look great now. What kinds of aches and pains have you taken into your later years, your retired years? Are you is it tough to roll out of bed in the morning? Are you okay?
No, I'm pretty okay though. I have a knee, my knee replacement. I had titanium knee, but I have no pains. Before I had my surgery like 4 years ago, I had so much pain I could hardly get out of bed. But now I have no pain, nothing. I can play paddle. And a little tennis also I play and stuff like that. But I cannot really run that far and stuff because that's too much pounding on the knees. But otherwise, I would say the knees is the worst. But maybe a little aches in the pain in the back too once in a while. But otherwise, oh, I had 6 concussions too. But yeah, the head the head still
And if they
works.
if And if well, I don't know about that. I interviewed a bunch of times. I'm going to guess it was more than 6, but and if they admit to 6, it was probably more than 6, right?
Yeah, probably right. Yeah, bunch of those I should probably not have played the whole game. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I will. It was one of my great delights is to walk into the Red Wings dressing room and to see your face, and you would just kind of wave me over. It's like, all right, John, what do you want to ask me today? I mean, you were always great about that, and always gave an answer that sometimes we'd have to clean up a little bit, but mostly it was something that was unexpected. You were, just so much fun in the Red Wings dressing room, and on those teams, what kind of a brotherhood was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I played with so many guys for such a long time, so we for sure we had some special bands together. We seen the downs and we seen the up downs, up and downs and stuff like that. So you lose together, you win together, and all those road trips, and we had the special bond for sure. And I would say, especially in practice, it didn't matter if you hit your best friend, whatever. But after practice, it's all over. And when we really competed every practice, I think that was a big part of this team. Yeah.
Well, I will ask you this, that as a Stanley Cup champion, for anybody who's won a Stanley Cup, and I'm certainly not privy to what happens, but when the Stanley Cup is taken to your hometown and you are celebrated with the people that matter most to you, so you're in northern Sweden, correct?
Yeah,
What's
close to the
what's
Arctic
that
Circle.
feeling like? Yeah, what's that feeling like when the Stanley Cup shows up to the Homer residence?
Well, you got goosebumps for sure, and I feel fortunate you could bring it 4 times. So we did some different stuff and celebrated on doing some different stuff with it, and so. But of course, big nice party. But the cup is there such a short time, so it's like 24 hours and it's gone again. So you needed to really enjoy it though, and do the best of it.
I have seen that on your day with the cup, you once had your cousin's daughter baptized in the
Yeah,
Stanley Cup. That must have been a hell of a party.
yeah. Maybe not during the baptizing, but afterwards, before. Yeah, we did that, and then we had some big festivals in town. So it took it so that everybody could see it in town too. So took it out on the boat, and I don't think they were so happy about that, taking out on the boat. And but I think it was Phil, who was there at that time, but he was so tired. He's been in Russia for a week, so but I need to go to bed, Homer. So you take it.
Yeah, that's the cup holder, Keats. That's who that is. The Phil
Yeah.
is the cup. Yeah, you've seen some commercials. Homer, you score lots of goals. Any like what was your biggest favorite goal you've ever scored in a Red Wing jersey?
I don't know. I'll see. Usually I never see the puck go in, but
Right? That's behind
You're
you.
right. You're right. You're like, was that me? Oh, that's so true.
I usually ask the goal, is it,
Oh
did it
my
go
God.
in? But you know what? I had to actually, I got one. I got to do a penalty shot. Maybe it was against Nashville Predators or St. Louis or can't remember. But a chop move going. Yeah, I've done that so many times on you. Also, chop move going high on
Yeah.
backhand.
He had one of the best backhanders around, John. Like on a like Konstantinov was great at that breakaway. So was Homer. He was unreal. He chop. You'd expect him to shoot, then he'd go backhand right underneath the bar. Unbelievable.
You had a 30-goal season in
Yeah.
06, 07. What did that feel like to reach that plateau that not many hockey players reach?
Yeah, I could have done it twice, but I ended up 29 one year and then 30. But I don't know. Maybe you know what? Maybe I start shooting the puck even more. Even if I don't understand how I could have such a straight blade, because maybe you could have some more goals if you had more hook on the blade and stuff like that. But it worked out to dig out pucks from the corners and stuff. So, and it was it was a good blade for me, especially around the net. And like Ozzy said, it didn't matter if you come on back. I can get it up as fast on backhand and forehand.
Did you and Nick carpool all the time from suburban Detroit to the Joe?
Yeah, we could say I was his driver for 15 years. Yes. No, zero accidents. No accidents.
No accidents. Yeah.
Yeah, we to practice we didn't go together maybe all the time, but for sure to the game we went together. Yeah, and I usually was driving. I like to drive, so because I'm just gonna play like 9, 10, 12 minutes a game. Nick's gonna playing 30 minutes a game, so it's really important that Nick is ready and rested.
And as big of a deal as you are, because you won 4 Stanley Cups, and obviously you are revered here in Detroit and Michigan and Hockeytown and all of that. Share with people how big Nick Lidstrom is back home in your native Sweden.
Well, yeah, the thing is with Nick, when you walk with him, as I tell him every time, look down because we can't go anywhere. That guy, everybody recognize Nick, and it doesn't matter if same in the States, I would say so too. But I 7 times Norris Trophy, nominated 10 times. So I actually don't give him the crap about that. He nominated 10 times, but just win it 7 times. And who got the most? Is that Bobby Orr who got? He got 8, huh?
Yeah, I think Bobby Orr did. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So you'll give him grief because he got outdone by Bobby Orr. It's like, well, you're
Yeah.
not as good as Bobby Orr.
Yeah.
you had a nice career, but you're not that
he-
good. So
he can
yeah.
take it. He can take it. The way Nick played the game, you never saw Nick or hit people. He just shut people down pretty much. He had great balance. He never really chop too much with the puck. He just lean left, lean right. he had such a good skills and vision for on the ice.
We just had Chris Draper on with us last week, and we asked him this question. Sergei Fedorov is going to have his number retired by the Red Wings in early January. What was it like being Sergei's teammate, Homer?
Yeah, one of the best skater I ever seen, and a really good guy also. So I was fortunate when he's sitting on the bench on all the goals when he scored 5 goals at the Joe Louis one game. So that was pretty impressive. But and he could play all the positions, you know. And then Scotty needed a defenseman. He played the D at that time too. So and yeah, I'm fortunate to be playing with him too, and many other hockey players. So that's gonna be a really special day for him and fun for him. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely, Homer. What's we'll say, because these people here, you won 4 Stanley Cups. What's your best memory as a Red Wing?
My best memory as a Red Wing, I gotta say, the Red Wings fans when I would say it wasn't that Patrick Roy get pulled, and that roof probably you could tell
Yeah.
I never heard Joe Louis so loud, and we beat him
2002.
Yeah, we beat him maybe 7-2 or something like that.
7-0, I think.
Was it
You guys
7-0?
beat them. It was
Yeah.
it was like 5-0. I was in with the Islanders then, and I played against Homer in practice, John, and for the people, and he was a pain in the ass to practice. But I remember you screening me against when I played for the Islanders in St. Louis. You were putting your gloves in front of my eyes, like this, like this. And I forget, we played you guys with St. Louis, and Brett Hall scored a power play goal late to tie it, like 5-5. Homer's glove was right in front of my face, like this, covering my face. Turned around the other way, John. It was unbelievable. But to be honest, Homer, I'd play against. Then I'm like, realized at that moment, you know, when you're playing games against certain players in the league, how good you were at what you did. And that's why I say when people ask me, he was the best in front of the net by far of all time. It was incredible. To play against you in front was harder than anything else I had to deal with anybody else in this league. And to play and to go out with you too is just as hard off the ice, because especially on the farthest trip, you were relentless. You'd go all night, all day, and then you do the same thing over and over again. I had to play 60 minutes.
Yeah.
You only had to play 9, so I couldn't go out as long as you and your fathers.
Yeah, I know.
So you're saying Homer wasn't exactly a good boy all the time. He was different than the person that I knew in the Red Wings dressing room. That he was polite and caring. You're saying that he got after it a little bit.
No, we just had a lot of
maybe
fun.
like the beverage.
On some of the best trips, the father's trips, when we used to be able to have them for a week. Now they have all these restrictions. You can do them for 2 days. But we go out to California with the fathers. Remember that, Homer?
Yeah.
Just it's spectacular trips. And it just started. Ken Holland did a heck of a job setting it up. And then they put restrictions. You couldn't take your fathers for as long. But remember, Homer, we'd fly out there. It was like we're in a traveling nightclub. And on the way home, dead silence. You could hear the plane buzzing the entire way. Guys were exhausted, but we'd have a blast. And memories like that make everything worthwhile. And having the dads there, and we're hanging out playing games, and they're after and had their box, and we're having pregame meals with them. So it was a great time. But the Swedish fathers and Homer and the rest of his crew were always the first star of those trips.
Yeah, but it was a great time for sure. And then what a memory for the dads. Absolutely.
Well, hey, one of my I guess one of my prized possessions is a stick that you signed for me, and it proudly sits in my office, and I loved the interactions that you and I had during my broadcasting days, and it's great to see you here. Great to have you back in Michigan, even for a short time, and hopefully one of these days our paths will cross. But all the best to the family. Thanks, Homer, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, good to see you guys too. See you at the ring.
Have fun, Homer.
Absolutely.
And take your own. You should put your head down Thursday, because people are going to be excited to know that you're going to be there if they see you for sure. The fans will be fired up. Haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The great Tomas Holmstrom, and we'll continue in a minute. Okay, on your list of favorite teammates all time, Homer's got to be right up there. right?
That right by me in the room, just a classic. I mean, a good example of how you have to find a niche, be really good at it, isn't he? I mean, he was not the best skater, but able to get around. Really smart player. People don't give him enough credit for that. High IQ, knew how to get himself into space. Great at tipping pucks. Really, if you think about it, his job is hard. You're in front of there with some big defensemen battling,
Crazy.
getting ripped at you, getting cross-checked from behind, slash hacked, and really, if you go over the history of the NHL, there's very few that are better than Tomas Holmstrom at that. If I go through a few, maybe Dino Ciccarelli, a Red Wing in his own right, great Red Wing, Andrew Chuck, couple others, but Tomas Holmstrom, he's the benchmark for the way how to play that net front game.
All right, we have a question for you, Ozzy, from Anthony Ibanez. Ozzy's had his share of great defensemen in hockey history in front of him. How would Ozzy feel having the likes of Seider and Edvinsson in front of him if you were the Red Wings goaltender?
Love it. I mean, doing games, I've loved Seider since he first donned a Red Wing jersey. I mean, the guy reminds me of a young Drew Doughty. He's coming into his own, the guy that shuts down games, blocks shots, tough in front of the net, able to make plays, almost had 50 points last year. I think that will get even better as he gets older. Great personality, great teammate. In the end, he's an old school defenseman, and I think that's why I like him so much. Edvinsson, he's just dipping his toe in the pool. This guy is very good. Talking to some people, it reminds them of a young Hedman. That's the defense for Tampa Bay, and could possibly be better one day. So, I mean, they got two just outstanding young defensemen do the Red Wings. And I think this coming season is going to be the coming out party for Edvinsson. I liked this game last year, real patient with the puck. Got better defensively, got a little bit of a mean streak in him too, more than he did before. So to have those two is definitely something to build around. And then for the Red Wing fans, got to be excited.
All right, a couple of questions. What are the things that you would like to change if you became God with a capital G for a day? Because you are not tolerant of other people by any stretch.
I'd like to get rid of like daylight savings time. Why does it need to be so dark so early? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, there is.
Or can I only do it for a day though? That's the thing. So one day, that's it.
Well, and I'm going to guess there are some stories attached to that where you lost an hour and you weren't happy about it.
I mean, if I was you, I'd say, could everybody go topless for a day? That would be what you would do. But I don't say that. Or could you find all those Playboys you buried in your backyard? That would be
buried. Jeez.
For
what
day,
is the
for one day? So I can't say daylight.
Well, I mean, but we know how you are on road construction. We know how you are about the way people drive. We know how you are about the coworkers that you have or had. You're not the most tolerant person if people don't do exactly what you're thinking. And trust me when I say this, no one is doing anything like you're thinking, because that scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, they don't. But for one day, what could I change? See, I can't say I'd like it to be 70 degrees every day, which is a perfect temperature in my mind. 90, I don't deal with that very well anymore. I don't like when it's really, really cold anymore.
Yep.
Being from Canada. If I could have it be 70 every day, that would be one thing.
You don't have that buzz, or as a lot of Michiganders do, to have a place in Florida or Arizona, do you?
No.
I mean, you got a terrific place in Western Canada.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
similar
Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Florida. There's nothing against going down there. I just feel like, it's the next move is upstairs if you move down there. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what I think of that. I kind of want to keep moving. I don't want to eat breakfast at 5 a.m. and eat dinner at 4:30. And then I'm like, Jeopardy. And
hey,
I mean, Stickers bars.
Don't disparage the early bird special. I mean, it's not so bad. The early bird, you skip lunch, and you have lunch, you have an early dinner at 4:35.
You want to fend off the early bird special as long as you can. Like, I just feel like that's and I have relatives that live down there. I love going down there. I enjoy it, but I don't know if I could live there. I don't.
I am asked about living here or bracing myself for a winter on the shores of Lake Michigan, and I I don't mind it. I don't mind winter in Michigan. I don't mind the fall. I mean, I think the fall along the lakeshore is as good as it gets, and obviously the springs and summers are terrific as well. So
Love the season, though, don't you? I love the
yeah,
season. I love
yeah.
fall. I love fall golf when it's colder outside, and I got a beautiful mock turtleneck on because I'm one of the few human beings to keep those popular when they weren't.
Oh my gosh, the mock turtleneecks.
Yeah, I love the seasons too. I'm with you. The one thing I don't like, I used to, I don't love shoveling snow. I don't love it anymore, but I do it, especially on my rink. I have to. But that's the
You
one.
can pay people. You can pay people to
I
do it
like to
for
do it
you.
myself, though. I mean, I know that surprises you, but I like to do my lawn work. I like to do my mulches, and I like to
Well,
do.
you say that, but then I get a call from you in the middle of you doing the shoveling of the rink or raking of the leaves,
Can I get some
telling
help
me
over
how much you hate it. No, you don't. You you never ask for help. You just want to bitch about the fact that you're doing it, like like somehow you qualify for sainthood because you're doing something that lots and lots of people do.
I just want attention. I yearn attention. But
There we go. There is the essence of Ozzy and Keats,
I want
right
people
there.
to know when I'm really working hard and doing stuff. Which
We have reached. It's probably what are we 34 episodes in. We have found the essence of Ozzy and Keats. That Ozzy just wants attention. There you
we
go.
finally
That's it.
got where we got
That's
it.
it.
I can't believe it's episode 34. That's
I know.
crazy.
I know. And that's just a guess on my part, but we're right around there.
We're
But,
gonna make cheers look
and
like
we encourage everybody to go back and consume previous episodes because they're all just sitting there anxious for you to consume them, and they're all timely. Timely. There is not a timeliness attached to them, I should say. So, all right, that's it for us. We will we'll take a big deep breath, and we'll see you next time here on Ozzy and Keats, everybody.
Ozzy and Keats is produced by Zachary Davis and Bill McAllister and proudly distributed by Podcast Nation in Troy, Michigan.